Joining me right now is Pennsylvania Congressman and member of the House Appropriations Committee and House Rules Committee, Guy Reschenthaler. And Congressman, we know that the FBI knew the truth when they were actually pressuring all of these outlets to go against it, because the FBI had in its possession the Biden laptop from October of 2019. So here we are throughout the last several years with the FBI pressuring news organizations that it's some kind of a leak, and yet they knew otherwise.
That's what's so nefarious about this, Maria. It's not only that you had a government agency embedded with a news outlet in Twitter, but you had them perpetuating what they themselves would describe as disinformation. They knew it was false, yet they were still peddling this conspiracy theory to the American people via controlling the flow of information at Twitter. It's absolutely unacceptable, and I think there's First Amendment violations at play here too. But at the end of the day, it shows you really two things. Number one, how politicized the FBI has become, to now that they are basically an arm of the Democratic Party when they're censoring and controlling media information to help their political friends and punish their political foes. Additionally, it shows you the level of corruption at big tech. The fact that you had these social media conglomerates that for the whole summer of 2020 and 2021 were running around saying that democracy was threatened, yet they were allowing a government agency and government agents to censor what was on their platforms. It shows how hypocritical they really are.
I mean, this is so stunning. It shows serious corruption. You don't have anybody in the media reporting this away from Fox Business, and the New York Post. It's also stunning to see how the media refuses to actually report these facts. If it were the Trump era, we would be hearing this all day long. But instead, because they are just another cog in the wheel for the Democrat machine, the media is going along with it. What do you want to see from the new Congress? And this is not just the FBI. This is also the DOJ, the Department of Justice, getting in the way of truth, suppressing truth and amplifying lies.
Well, Maria, the legacy media is never going to cover these stories because the legacy media long ago gave up on covering the news. They're all about perpetuating and putting forth their own narrative. And of course, that narrative is the one the Democratic Party wants them to put out. That's why Fox News, Fox Business, and other outlets are more influential now than legacy media. But getting back to what Congress can do, Kevin McCarthy wants to have robust oversight investigation. You can bet that Jamie Comer, incoming chairman of House Oversight, is licking his chops at this information. Jim Jordan, incoming member of the Judiciary Committee, incoming chair of the Judiciary Committee, he is ready to go. We are going to call these big tech executives in. We're going to call officials from the FBI and DOJ in, and we're going to expose what actually happened, the collusion, the corruption. And then lastly, we've got to look at the intelligence agency and call in every one of those individuals that signed that paper saying that that Hunter Biden's laptop was Russian disinformation. Right. That entire list of so-called intel experts, they need to be held accountable, and we need to see what made them believe that that was Russian disinformation when the FBI themselves knew the whole time that that laptop was credible and what was on it was actually damaging evidence for the Biden family.
Let me move on to the business at hand. Senate Democrats released the details of this massive $1.7 trillion omnibus spending bill this morning. Congress is facing a government shutdown if the bill is not approved by Christmas Eve. I spoke with GOP leader Kevin McCarthy yesterday about this. Here's what he had to say. Watch.
They're going to increase by more than $100 billion after all the increases they've done before. So now the baseline when we take over is going to be $100 billion more, adding more to inflation. These two senators, Leahy and Shelby, won't have to face the voters because they're leaving. They won't even tell us what the numbers are, and they're going to show a bill that are thousands of pages that nobody can read.
So, Congressman, the Senate Appropriations Committee says that the omnibus will include a proposal to ban TikTok on government devices. Can you talk to us from your standpoint? What's in this bill and where is it going?
Maria, I'm on the House Appropriations Committee, and I haven't seen what's in this bill yet. They released a text of this morning at about 3 a.m., over 4,000 pages. And as you said, it's $1.7 trillion of spending. That's a problem. And it's another problem when you think about this. No other time in recent history when you've had a majority party in Congress leaving and a new majority party coming in, like we have now with House Republicans coming in control to take control from the Democratic House. You've never had a lame duck omni that's been pushed through. But here we are pushing through a $1 trillion omnibus where Republicans have had zero input, where the two architects in the Senate didn't even run this bill through the Senate Appropriations Committee. Those two senators are retiring, completely impugned at the polls for this spending. And what's so perverse about this is if Republicans just hold out for a few more weeks, we will be in control. Kevin McCarthy will have the gavel, and we'll be able to get a much better deal.
So why are your Republican colleagues then agreeing with Democrats to move forward? This is absolutely stunning that you're on the Appropriations Committee and you got this bill, thousands of pages at 3 in the morning. You haven't even seen it. You have no idea what's in it. And it's almost $2 trillion. And the people who wrote it are on their way out. I mean, every American should be absolutely outraged by this kind of work. And this is the way that you guys operate. It's disgusting.
Well, Maria, I'm voting no on that bill. Kevin McCarthy is voting no on the bill. House Republicans, for the most part, will hold the line against this because we know what they're doing is wrong and it violates regular order in the processes that we have within the House and the Senate.
All right. We will leave it there, Congressman, and we'll be watching. Thanks very much, Guy Reschenthaler, joining us this morning. Thank you, sir.